Hello, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Mel.
So we said we wouldn't do that, but
We just did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is, well, you can't see very much from
but we'll show you
that shot.
We'll show you the cutaways. But
yep.
This is Acupuncture Healthcare.
And this is where we both stick needles in people and things like that.
This is where the magic happens.
Yep. So about how we got
started. Okay, so Andrew and I both met at the Northern College of Acupuncture, where we started in 2008, and we both qualified this July 2012, and then we set up 2011 even, and we set up Acupuncture Healthcare the following August.
Yep. Well, Mel did most of it. I tried to kind of help a little bit where I could, but yes, since then it's been a pretty kind of whirlwind sort of a year. Everything is just changed really quickly, I guess, in both of our lives. I would imagine it went from kind of being an idea to being a very real thing very quickly, it's been quite an experience.
Has been, and have you enjoyed it?
I have enjoyed it. Yeah, I have enjoyed it. Like because when Mel had always kind of had the idea that she wanted to set up pretty much straight away. I kind of wasn't so sure at that time, and she suggested that I might come along. We would do something together. So it took me a few months to get my head around the fact that it had actually happened. But the whole time I was definitely clear on the fact that it was the right thing to do, and now I'm completely glad and just really enjoying it. I mean, I love every minute that I'm here, really. Yeah.
So a bit about the practice. So I'm doing Mondays through Thursdays, so I'm doing about 3.5 days. Andrew's doing
Fridays and Saturday mornings. With the Multipack Clinic on a Friday afternoon, which we'll come on to talk about, I guess.
Yes, in a minute. And I spend probably a half a day a week just doing administration for the clinic, so paying bills and accounting and transferring stuff to the practitioners and advertising. But it's set up so it's all fairly streamlined, which is quite good. So it's not too difficult. And
I think we're quite unusual in that we do everything through, like, all our booking system is online. We do all of our patient notes electronically, rather than, we don't store any paper notes at all, which I think is quite different to how a lot of people do things. But we wanted to kind of have, because it was a fresh start, we wanted to make things as convenient and straightforward for ourselves as we could, and we've not got much storage space as well, so that kind of worked out well for us. So
how would you say that Northern College of Acupuncture prepared you for practice?
Well, I developed a bit of a drinking problem, and that's been pretty useful over the past 12 months.
Which was then cured through acupuncture?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm cured now. But no, in seriousness, it was. I'd say, because there is, particularly towards the end of the third year, there is that focus in the clinic. I did, to be honest, I mean, whilst it was different being here on our own kind of thing, I did feel like it was quite a smooth transition. Like, it does feel different being on your own, but it's not. It wasn't so different to being in the college. So
don't feel like the cord has been cut too soon.
No, and it was just such a great experience, and the college was so supportive that it really did make that transition enjoyable and as easy as it was ever going to be.
Yeah, I think what's been nice at the college is that there's a lot of different styles of acupuncture and styles of just being a practitioner represented, and it's done in such a way where it gives you a really good foundation, a really good baseline to have your core knowledge, and then you get introduced to other things, and so you're very much sent out with the idea that it's the beginning of your learning process. So you definitely have more than enough information to start treating patients successfully, but then you're going to go out and learn a lot more and find your own style. So that's been quite good.
Absolutely. I mean, something I know that we've talked about is since I graduated, because I always had all these ideas about these different things that I wanted to branch out into and things like that. And actually, like and that may, you know, I still plan for that to happen. But I mean, actually, one of the big things that's happened since I've graduated is I've kind of made every day. I think I make things simpler and simpler rather than more complicated. Yes. And try and get what I do right, rather than necessarily, you know, trying to be too elaborate. And that's completely the opposite of how I thought I would end up. Yes, you thought you would learn more and start doing things more, like maybe more comprehensive, but actually the simpler. Yeah, I think when I first started here, I think I was doing all sorts of stuff, and I think, but I think I'm refining stuff down, and then I might add more things in. Yes, you know. Yeah, that makes sense. I think the other thing I found very helpful at NCA was we had a small business module where we did a business plan. I think we both found that very helpful, because I think perhaps a lot of people go to start studying acupuncture and their complementary therapies thinking that they want to be a complementary therapist, not necessarily thinking that they want to be a small business owner, which you basically, you know, there's lots of different ways to practice, but unless you're employed by the NHS or you're employed by someone, you will be a small business owner. And so translating, okay, I'd like to work these hours and see these patients into a business plan is really useful. Absolutely, and I mean, I think I've said this to quite a few people who were in years following up from us, that like, basically, I don't think many people really enjoyed that module, because maybe it's not really what people go to the college to go and do, but in some respects, I think it's probably the most important one you'll ever do, and it's certainly one of the, you know, one of the things that I'm most glad that I did, looking back on it now. So I mean, I'm only here 2 days a week. I'd like to increase. I've got another job. I'd like to increase that at some point. I'm really enjoying doing the multi-bed. I'd like to do that more. It's really good fun. It's a really different experience to treating people one-to-one. It's hard work, but it's really good. Should we talk a bit about the multi-bed actually? Because that's probably quite interesting. Yeah, sure. Why not? And then I'll bounce that question. Back at you. So the Multipack Clinic, which, you know, many people may have heard about. It's a way of potentially making acupuncture a bit more accessible to a wider bunch of people, just because the cost is lower. So one person will come in, we'll do a brief consultation with them and get some needles in, and then whilst they're waiting there with the needles in theory another person will come in after them, and the process will repeat. So you generally have to keep the treatments quite simple, and the consultation is quite brief, but you know, I've found, you know, we've had some good results from it. People seem to enjoy it. The privacy issue, or lack thereof, doesn't seem to faze people anything like as much as you might think it does. And it's just a really enjoyable experience. It's hard, you know, it's quite hard work, but it's a really enjoyable experience. Yeah, and I think I can tell from speaking with patients and dealing with patient inquiries that it really has opened it up to a lot of people. Who would just not have considered it within their budget or within their means to have regular acupuncture treatment. Anytime that I come in on a Friday afternoon just to visit, you know, the patient, there's just such a feeling of calm. When the needles are in and people are lying down, and it's just really lovely. I can really recommend it to patients who are inquiring about it. It's probably not for every patient or every case, but it is for a lot of people. It's been really great, because it's been, you know, kind of increasingly kind of the groups of people who can come for acupuncture. Yeah, and you get people talking to one another and having a bit of a laugh sometimes, or it's just a nice environment. So what about you? What do you see? Future plans. Well, so things have been going very well here, and I'm really enjoying it. In the first year, I was also working on my master's dissertation, so I had to somewhat limit how many patients I was seeing a week in order to do both well and enjoyably. And now I've actually started a nutritional therapy course at Northern College of Acupuncture. You can't keep me away.
And that's really great. I'm really enjoying that so far, and I think that course is designed for people who are already practitioners. So I think that while there's a lot of out of class study time, it's something that you can integrate. So I think I will be able to see more patients now than I could last year, and a lot of patients I'm really excited. The acupuncture patients are really excited to be able to bring nutritional therapy to, because it's a big issue with most of our patients. But in terms of the clinic, I think it's a good. I think I was quite lucky in the location. It's a good location. It's a good size. It has a really nice feel to it. We were able to get it for a reasonable lease, so it means that it's a model that works, and so we can just keep seeing patients like we've been doing, and the numbers are we're getting busier and busier, and it's a viable.
Yeah, and people really seem to like the environment and the location. I think we really fell on our feet, largely down to your hard work, but it's we're very lucky to have this space, because there's not too many places like this.
No, absolutely.
Any like big tips or anything like that?
I can give my you should have a dream speech that I tend to tell everyone.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the big advice that I would give for anybody who either is thinking about doing the training, wants to do the training in acupuncture or anything related, or someone who's already doing the training and trying to decide what they want to do next, is really and this is a bit fluffy, but to sit down and have a think and maybe visualize a bit about what it is you really want. And what it is you don't want, and really have a think about that. I think, like we were talking a bit before about this business plan, that people wanting to become acupuncturists did not necessarily knowing that they want to become small business owners, but when you study acupuncture, it opens up so many doors, and you might not be completely clear what you want, but it's really worthwhile to imagine what would be ideal for you, because once you can imagine what would be the best case scenario, then you can actually go about making that happen. And if you don't do that, you're kind of wandering a bit, and you might get lucky, but but you might not, or you might not think everything through. So you might think that you want to have a really busy practice and do this, that, and the other, but you might have forgot that you also wanted to have less stress than your job, and so you might have achieved everything you tried to achieve, but still find yourself stressed out if you didn't think that far through. And for me, that's been really important, because starting my own clinic, if I didn't have clear boundaries between here and home, I could be kind of really stressed out and have a low quality of life. But because I was so clear about wanting to do this and have it be a really fun place to work and to practice and to have those boundaries, I really enjoy it. I really don't get overly stressed, and it's a really fun thing to have. So that's my you should have a dream speech. Yeah.
So thinking about where am I now, where do I want to be, and then what steps have I got to take to get in between, because I think that's the other tricky bit, and then actually having a plan and setting that out, and goals that you want to.
Absolutely, and these are not new ideas, so I know where we're taking responsibility for having come up with those ideas, but they're good ideas that are worth repeating. Right. So anything to close with? Kids stay in school.
Yeah.
Stay after it.